This is the Deen Show. This is the Deen Show. This is the Deen Show. This is the Deen Show.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. Welcome to another episode of the Deen Show. I'm Eddie, your host, and today we're going to get some good advice. You're a Muslim, you should be happy. You've chosen to consciously submit your entire self, not to a man, not to anything in creation, but the creator of the heavens and the earth, the one God, the same God that Jesus, peace be upon him, worshiped, the same God that Abraham worshiped, the same God that the last and final messenger called the people to worship. Allah, that's the creator of the heavens and the earth. There's no God besides him. And you're a Muslim, you should be happy. But now some people are sad, so we want to give some great advice so people can get to being optimistic of the beautiful rewards of Jannah, paradise, that are waiting for those who have submitted themselves and stay on this way all the way until death. We're going to be right back with Sheikh Walid Basuni to give us some advice on being happy. Being happy. We'll be right back on the Deen Show.
This is the Deen Show. This is the Deen Show. This is the Deen Show. This is the Deen Show. This is the Deen Show. This is the Deen Show. This is the Deen Show. This is the Deen Show. This is the Deen Show. This is the Deen Show. This is the Deen Show. This is the Deen Show.
Back here on the Deen Show with Dr. Sheikh Walid Basuni. How are you, Sheikh?
Very good, alhamdulillah, excellent.
So I got a chance to, in some of the other shows, people know that you're the vice president of Al Maghrib Institute, and also you're the imam of the Islamic Center of Clear Lake.
Yes.
Yes. So now you're somebody who's qualified to talk about a lot of these issues that we talk about, serious issues, you know. And one of them is because, you know, let's face it, you know, sometimes I'm very excited to do this show. I'm very excited to sit with people like yourself. It gets me going. It gets me excited. And, you know, and it's an imam booster. It's such a blessing. But there's also days in my life that, you know, you get sad. We're human beings. So we want to, you know, get some advice. And there's some other people out there who, you know, they accept this beautiful way of life. And, you know, they feel like maybe smiling a lot is not good. You know, it's not good for the soul. Maybe they turn from being a happy, optimistic person being someone who's rigid and negative. So, you know, we want some encouragement, and we want to know, what does Islam teach? Does it teach us to be sad or to be happy?
Okay. First of all, I'm happy to be here.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you success in your show, and to always make you and your family and your viewer happy all the time.
Ameen.
Let me start by saying this. This religion came to establish certain goal. We call them ultimate goal of Sharia, of the Sharia law. One of this ultimate goal of the Sharia I want to establish on earth is to make people happy. So that's one of the purpose of revealing this book, of sending the messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and basically all this teaching. One of the goals is to make people happy, not only in this worldly life, and also in the hereafter as well. So happiness is one of the goals of Islam, one of the goals of Islam. And it encourages us to be happy and teach us how to be happy, how to overcome these challenges in life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that when He created us, في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك. Allah have put you together. The scholar interpreted this word, put you together. He said, because you are certain parts of your body been put together, and also certain emotions been put together. Sometimes you're high, sometimes you're low, sometimes you are happy, sometimes you make it sad, sometimes nervous, sometimes calm, and all these been put together. So all this psychological issues that we go through, and physical issues that we also notice in our body, the changes, all been put together, and to make that sophisticated creation, which is human being. So Allah knows us more than anybody else. He's the one who created us, who has put us together, made us, and also He told us that this life will contain a lot of different situations, different challenges that meet us. and he told us how to deal with it. But the point is that if you follow what he teach, if you follow the guidelines that he gave you, he guarantee you happiness.
Guarantee.
For this worldly life and the hereafter.
So not just the hereafter, but this life
This
also.
life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, those who believe in me and will offer good deeds, فَلَنُحْيَنَّهُ حَيَاةً طَيِّبًا. And he said like this, any male or female, usually he said anyone, but he emphasized on all of humanities, regardless of their gender, male or female, that they will believe, they have faith in me, and they will offer good deeds, فَلَنُحْيَنَّهُ حَيَاةً طَيِّبًا. So he said, I will let them live good life, happy life in this worldly life. Then I will reward them in the hereafter with the greatest reward, which is paradise. So this verse telling us there's two rewards. One in this worldly life by living a very good, happy life. And also in the hereafter by entering paradise. So the reward of the good deeds of your submission to your Lord, we'll find it here, the tranquility, the serenity, the happiness, the trust that you have in your heart. It will not bring anything less than happiness to your life.
Now someone says, you know what, look, you know, and they quote this hadith and they say the Prophet ﷺ said that this life for the believer is like a prison and the disbeliever is like a Jannah. So he starts to have that prison mentality. He's rigid and rough and that happiness is far from his mind. Is this how we should interpret this? That we got to be like, you know, unhappy?
First of all, this hadith means, it doesn't mean that this dunya is like a prison. It means that in this dunya there is certain thing you are prevented from doing it. Like when somebody in prison, he doesn't have access to everything that he is aware of. So in this dunya there are certain things I have no access to it. Like taking your money. I cannot take it. I have no access to it. I've been preventing from doing this. Stealing from you, cheating you. I've been preventing as Muslim from having an intercourse with just any woman. It has to be my wife. You see? So that's what means prison. It means you've been prevented from certain things. Like the prisoner are prevented from certain things. While the kafir has no rules. Some of the people who don't follow rules, he makes his own rules. He's not a prison. It's not a prison. He can do whatever he wants. He can break any law that he wants. You see, that's what this hadith means. It never gives that dark image or look of this worldly life. This worldly life is beautiful. The Prophet ﷺ said he pray and he supplicate every day to his Lord by saying, "Oh Allah, bless my ear, bless my eyes, bless my strength, so I can enjoy this life." So I can enjoy this life. So this is part of what we do as Muslims. We really enjoy and maximize our benefit from this life, Tell us, for somebody is just coming over, and we know it's a fact that Islam is the fastest growing way of life in the world today. You know, even more women are coming than men. You know, correct me if I'm wrong. This is what we're seeing from the statistics. So many people are coming from living life according to just fulfilling their desires. Just anything is like open to them. Now they come into Islam, and naturally Islam has some restrictions, okay? If you want to be with a woman or woman want to be with a man, you got to be married, and you can't drink alcohol, and so many other things that are harmful for you, Islam cut it off. There's so much wisdom behind it, but some people, because they're so used to just doing things their own way, fulfilling their desires, but now Islam says, hold on, you got to stop here. Some people I see they fall into this depression for a little bit. How do they break out of this so they can really be happy? First of all, it's statistically speaking very interesting to know that women are more likely to be unhappy than men. They go through depression than men.
More women than men.
Yeah, there's one more unhappy than men.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, since you're talking about more women coming to Islam, because I believe Islam will provide happiness, tranquility, serenity, security. But why people feel happy when they enter Islam? I don't believe that fulfilling all your desires is going to make you happy. Actually, what's so beautiful about this religion, it's free you from being slave to anything but Allah, but His Creator, but your Creator. You're not slave to your desire. You're not enslaved by the shaitan. You're not slave of yourself. You're not slave of the money that you go after. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, "Ta'isa abdud dinar." تعس عبد الخميصة. He said, sallallahu, the one who take the money as his God, he will live in misery. He will never be happy. And the one who will take business as his God, he will never be happy. Why? Because the moment you worship the money, you worship the one who owns the money, who control the money, and so forth. But when the moment you submit yourself to Allah, you only slave to Him. You only control by Him. Nobody else control your life except Him. And that's the ultimate freedom, actually. That's the ultimate freedom. And that's one of the reasons you feel happy. You know, I'm not entitled to anyone in the world except my Creator.
Except the Creator. Let's take a break and we'll be right back with more here on The Deen Show.
Death and the Day of Judgment, the mercy of Allah. These are the things that finally made me realize there is no time to delay anymore. I wanted to take my Shahada right then.
The essence of spirituality is to become more sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Contemplate death itself. It is very, very scary, but it brings you back to reality. There is a life which is everlasting in the hereafter. And you have to make a conscious decision of which group of people do you want to be of. The people of heaven or the people of hell.
Allahu Akbar.
Back here on The Deen Show, and we're talking about being happy, how we can get from being depressed and sad to something Islam encourages one to be happy. So these are, would you say people confuse the two with fun, somewhat you might perceive as fun, you know, going drinking and clubbing and all these things, which actually at the end have some really negative side effects, and that leads to depression, where Islam prohibits these things because this is for the betterment of society, and not confusing the two, where true happiness comes from what you said, being a slave not to these things, but slave to the one who created everything?
You know, there's about 16,000 people who ask this question to identify happiness.
Yeah.
And people identify happiness by saying it is by happiness in wealth, being married, health, good health, basically having a lot of money, traveling, and things like this. And I believe all having fun, you know, whatever it is. I think these tools to happiness. This is not happiness. Happiness is not in money. There's a lot of people who have money and they're not happy. A lot of people drink, they're not happy. Actually, they drink because they're not happy. And after drinking, they will be more sad, more depressed. After using drugs, people go extremely low. Even if for a moment they drug themselves, they deceive themselves. That's not happiness. Happiness, it is when you are content. And when inner soul, your soul from inside content, and your soul is basically in rest, in peace, in tranquility, when there is serenity inside your heart. And this is, you will not find it until your soul find its way to God, find its way to the Creator of this soul. Basically, it's one of the things that Islam teaches us about happiness, which is, I thought, it is very unique. Islam always asks us to be positive in the way we think. We have a positive mental attitude towards everything. We always look positive to the future. We look positive to our Lord. Anything decreed upon us, anything He legislated for us, we look at it as a positive way. The Prophet ﷺ was the most positive person. كان يعجبه الفأل. He was an optimistic ﷺ and loved optimism, which is one of the things that makes you really happy, that you always be positive about basically everything around you, everything happening to you. You don't look at it in a negative way. It's the end of the world, or you know what, that's it. No, you always see opportunities in your difficulties. And that's what sets you apart from pessimist people who always see difficulties in their opportunities. So if you look, for example, the Prophet ﷺ told us to build that optimism in us. He said, whenever you pray to Lord, you always ask for the highest things. You don't even ask for the low thing. You ask for the highest level of paradise. When you ask Allah anything in life, you always know that He will answer it to you. Sometimes by giving it to you. Sometimes by giving you breaks in life. Things that might harm you in future. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will prevent it from happening. Giving you a lot of breaks in your life. And sometimes He keep it as a form of reward for you in the hereafter. So I know for sure that whatever I prayed for is something been answered. Also, you see, the Prophet ﷺ said, when you pray to Him, don't say, oh, forgive me if you wish. No, say, forgive me. When you pray, your heart full of trust that there is out there a God and a Lord. He listening and He will give me basically what I want. You live, if you want to be happy, you always see the light in front of you. There is experiment done in a lab on 2 rats. One of them was in a basically container full of water, and it's dark. In 30 minutes, this rat died.
Wow.
Okay? They put the same exact rat, similar to it, in the same exact environment. The only difference, there were lights on one of the side of this container. You know, that rat continues swimming for how long? 36 hours. 36 hours. Swim versus 30 minutes. That he sink in 30 minutes because there is no hope, no light. He
Yes.
give up. That one basically 700 times more than the previous one. 36 hours swimming. Why? Because he see the light. And this is human being. When you see the light, when you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if you don't him physically, but you see him through his message, through his what he gave to us, you see the path that he have chosen for us, you will have that strength to continue, to keep going, not to give up. It's not about the time to give, it's about to push, it's about to go farther, it's about to not even to survive, it puts you in a mood of strive, to strive for the best and to aim for the best for yourself. And that's what really make you happy.
Now someone says, look, Sheikh, you know, that sounds good. It all sounds good, but you know what? You know, I just lost my son. I have, you know, my father who's got cancer, and I got to deal with this every day. You know, that person sounds like giving up. Oh, it's not happening to you. Why is it happening to me? And they're really getting depressed. They say, you're not in my shoes until you walk in my shoes, then talk. What would you say to this person?
I'll tell you. I know that there's so many people out there, they have a lot of problems in life. I know that. But as I know there's so many problems out there, I know also there's so many solutions out there. The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah never sent in this earth that disease unless there is a cure for it. Some people will find it and some people wouldn't. So what I'm saying here, Ibn al-Qayyim, which is a great Muslim scholar, said that these diseases are not the physical disease only, even psychological diseases, economical problems. There are solutions for it. It's your role to search for it. It's your role to figure out the wisdom behind it. You know, yes, the Prophet ﷺ, in his time, a man came, he used to come to the masjid, new Muslim, and the Prophet missed him. Then he said, where's so-and-so? They said, he's depressed at home. His son passed away. He was in status of depression. He is home. He didn't come to the masjid anymore. The Prophet went and visited him. And the hadith is Sunan Nasa'i. It's authentic hadith. The Prophet told this man, if you wish, I'll pray to my Lord, and Allah will resurrect this son to you right now, and you enjoy his company until you die. Or you will be patient, and this son will be waiting for you in the day of judgment, will take your hand to enter from any gate of the paradise, of the 8 gates of paradise that you wish. From any gates you can enter, he will lead you into it. Yes, it seems to be very sad that he died, but you know what? What is waiting for him in the hereafter is way greater than just having this boy or having this. Sometimes, yes, you didn't get that phone call for the job that you were praying for it. Maybe you didn't get that woman that you were, or that man that you prayed for so many times to have her or him as your spouse. Maybe you never got that opportunity that you've been seeking. But you know what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not give it to you for any reason but because He knows that's not the best for you. Sometimes we want God to act according to our timeline, but He act according to His timeline, according to His wisdom,
Yes.
according to what He sees the best for us. And that's what Islam make us see Allah in this way, in this positive attitude. And that's what keep us going and going and going. And I know for sure that in the end of the days, that it will be the best for me.
Tell us, and again, I got this from listening to one of your lectures, and you had talked about a brother that you knew who something happened to him, and he was stuck in a hospital. He was always so busy, but then at this moment, are you recalling the story?
Yes.
That he sat in the hospital, and at that time, he made the best out of his time, and he memorized the Quran. Can you share this story with us, Sheikh?
Yes, so many times, the difficult moment that it goes in our life, it can turn to be the best things ever happened to our life. I know a brother who had the influenza, the virus, but it struck his spine, basically, and he was literally can't move. And this is one of the people who always, you will see him everywhere. He picked somebody from the airport, he tried to help this family. He always, mashallah, in the mood, in action. So to see that person's paralyzed is very hard. And one of my friends, when he went to visit him, and he said that the moment I walk into the house, into his basically room in the hospital, with a big smile in his face, he said, you know what, alhamdulillah, now I have time to sit and I will be able to memorize the Quran. I will be able to memorize the Quran. And he was able to do that. In 2-3 years, I think, down on the road, he was able to walk, alhamdulillah, through physical therapy. He was able to walk, limping a little bit, but he regained his strength. Yes, at that moment you think it's the worst thing happened to you, but you don't know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let you go through hard time because He want to prepare you. You know what's the difference between the black diamond and charcoal?
What's that, Sheikh?
They are all from the same origin. The only difference that the black diamond, the most expensive rock in the face of the earth, versus that cheap charcoal, that this one has the ability to bear pressure, and this one doesn't. Those who have the ability to bear the pressure, go through this difficult time with patience, with sabr, they will come out of it like this diamond. Very valuable in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's eyes. They are the true winners.
Amazing, amazing. We'll be back with more here on The Deen Show. Sit tight.
On the outside, everything looks good. You see the $100,000 cars, you see a lot of diamonds, you see a lot of females, and they think that this is, this is the life. This is like, paradise right here on earth.
It's not anyone's job to go into someone's heart and change their heart. Your job is to tell people what the truth is.
And the reality of it is, while I'm sitting here constantly paying for the disease, the cure was free.
I am not afraid to stand alone. I am not afraid to stand alone. If Allah is by my side, I am not afraid to stand alone. I am not afraid to stand alone. If Allah is by my side, I am not afraid to stand alone. I am not afraid to stand alone. If Allah is by my side, I am not afraid to stand alone.
Back here on The Deen Show with Dr. Sheikh Waleed Bassouni, and no matter what happens, you don't ever want to give up?
Absolutely. Whenever you feel it's the time to throw the towel, you know that's the time to keep in the ring. And the time to keep going and to push farther. This is the time you stay. This is the time you dig your heel in, not the time to quit.
So what can a person do when you feel like it's just getting overbearing, overwhelming, and you feel like a test is put on you that, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the God Almighty, the Creator is saying, like, you feel like that verse where He says, they were tested so hard, they felt like, when is the help of Allah going to come? When you're feeling like that, what do?
The moment you see that, the moment you remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching me, seeing me, hearing me, and Allah planning for me the best, and I start acting upon what I know is the right thing. We have to learn how to move on in our life. Don't ever stuck in a situation or in a time of difficulty and you think that's the end of it. No, go ahead and explore other areas in life. Maybe it didn't work out in this area. Maybe it's a time to discover something else. Maybe it's the time to move on to maybe a new place, a new job, a new person, a new environment. Just move on in your life with trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Smile at basically the world will smile back to you. But instead of talking about instead of talking about your problem all the time, talk at your problem. Try to solve it. Find new solutions. Maybe Allah wants to direct you to find a new solutions to the problem that you are going through or the difficulty that you have right now.
So you mentioned smiling. So this is something where some people, they feel like, okay, I'm religious and I got to be rigid and no smile. You're saying smile.
Yes, the Prophet ﷺ, several of his companions, they said, every time we meet the Prophet ﷺ and we see him, he smiles. Has big, beautiful smile in his face. This is the Prophet ﷺ, how he always looked like. He used to smile more than anybody else. He used to joke with his companions and smile. Very happy person, very friendly person, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Unfortunately, as you said, some people for some reason, they're not very smiley faces. I always tell the people, some people maybe feel they lost their smile. I have a good news for you. Your smile didn't go anywhere. It's right under your nose. It's right under your nose. Just smile and see how will change you. The Prophet ﷺ said, smile is a form of charity. A form of charity. It's you get ajr every time you smile to someone. It doesn't matter what that person's ethnicity is, he's related to me or not, his religion is. Just smiling is a beautiful thing, and it's not gonna make other people's happy. Only it's going to make you also happy.
A couple more points. Just tell us this, I feel is very important, Sheikh. You know, dwelling too much into the past. I should have did this, I could have did that. Or worrying so much about the future. You know, oh, if this happens to me, if I don't do, you know, just dwelling too much in the past, going too much and worrying yourself out about the future. Does this contribute to you being miserable? Should you avoid these things? How should you balance this out?
Absolutely. Let me tell you, worrying a lot or so much about the future, it will never empty the future from its worry or its sorrow. It will only empty your today from its strength. That's only what's going to happen to you. You know what, as a Muslim, our main focus on now, what I can do today. It's not about the past. If I did something in the past, I learned from it. And the future, it's in the hand of Allah. You know what, it is now, today, what I can do now to make myself happy. What I can do to make the people around me happy. What can I do to make the environment and the people and the community that I'm living in better place for me and for them and for our children. It is about now what you should do. As for worrying about the future, you know what? You don't know how long you're going to live. You just enjoy your life today by asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you and to help you to worship Him, to be closer to Him, and to basically fulfill your day with what will make you happy and your family as well.
And that seems like busy doing good, because idle time, it seems like if you're getting bored, you're going to find it's going to leave room for shaitan to get into your head. So these things that you mentioned is keeping yourself doing good things, keeping yourself doing things, contributing to society.
You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a lot of gifts.
Yeah.
And these talents that we have, it's Allah's gifts to us. But what we do with it, it's our gifts back to Allah.
Yeah.
So it is really about how you're going to use all these gifts that Allah giving it to you. And that's why you have to keep yourself busy doing and using these things that Allah have given you in the right way.
Thank you once again for being with us. May God Almighty Allah reward you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And some more great advice. The opposite of sad is to be happy. And you gave you some great advice on how to be happy, because this is what Islam encourages us. Don't be sad, be happy. And continue to come back here to the Deen Show each and every week. We got a new show for you. And we'll see you next time, inshallah, God willing. Until then, peace be unto you.